don't know if there is anything wrong because I don't know how other people are.
Do you ever feel this way? For me, it happens all the time. But maybe not in the way that you're thinking. I was watching YouTube the other day, the same way you are now, when I came across this cool video by this YouTuber and comedian named Paul Platt. It's a really interesting video about the inevitable failure of the YouTube series Video Game High School by the group of YouTubers behind Rocket Jump. I don't want to spoil the whole thing, so I'll just recommend that you go check it out. It's really worth a watch. But still, I need to talk about one of the conclusions that Paul comes up with. He says that in our new social media landscape, more established forms of media like television or the cinema, the kinds of media that the show Video Game High School was trying to replicate, shouldn't try to nudge their way into social media space. Posting a television series on YouTube doesn't make it a YouTube series. It's still just TV, and people go onto the platform YouTube to watch YouTube videos. That's why shows like VGHS inevitably fail, because they're trying to live in a space that wasn't made for them. There's a certain language to internet videos and internet content in general that is unique from more established forms of media like cinema and TV. And when we visit these platforms, like we are right now on YouTube, we're doing so to try and communicate, to speak in that language. After watching the video, I registered those ideas, filed them away into the opinions folder of my brain, and carried on with my day. I brought them up with my friends in casual conversation, trying desperately to have an informed opinion or something interesting to say about the topic at hand that we were discussing. And I felt pretty good about it. I felt smart saying those things that I learned from Paul's video. But then, the worst thing in the world happened to me. I got a text. Okay, real quick, this version of me realizes that version of me was kind of a dummy when writing the script. To make it clear, the subject matter of this video is the phenomenon of not knowing what you think or what you feel until you find out what everyone else thinks or feels, and what it is you should do when you notice that happening. Right now, I'm just laying the groundwork and giving a couple of examples. I promise it will all make sense if you stick with me to the end. So where was I? Right, I got a text. I was sent a video recommendation from one of my friends, Joel Harver's second channel. The video was called Anora Isn't an Independent Film. Maybe you've seen it. I also thought this video was great. And while Joel spends most of the length of the video discussing why he doesn't think Anora isn't an independent film, he also spends a good chunk of the runtime talking about the future of the art form, the future of cinema and movies. Joel thinks that there's too much pressure on what movies are and what they could be. I agree with him. And coupled with the fact that, one, the theatrical business is quickly contracting, and two, it's also a business that's incredibly gatekeepy. Aspiring for the dream of the studio feature film can be one that's not only overwhelming, but also completely off the mark for the current moment that we're living in. Joel seems to believe that the distribution method of posting a feature-length film completely for free on YouTube is a viable one. He references the fact that one of his feature films has reached over 700,000 views, and that this film has been studied in film schools across the country, and he's visited these schools to give talks to the students. He doesn't consider his work to be a YouTube video, it's a film. These are films that just happen to be distributed on the platform of YouTube, and he stands firm in his beliefs, offering the idea that the future of truly independent film could be on these free platforms. I walked away from this video completely inspired. As a filmmaker with the goal of making a feature film within the near future, the idea of simply posting it on YouTube, bypassing the entire festival circuit, was completely novel to me. I never really thought about that. But right after finishing the video, it felt like something that was completely tangible. I texted my friend back who sent me the video and informed him of my new aspirations. And as it did before, my brain filed away these new ideas into the opinions folder of my brain. It wasn't until a few days later that these two conflicting ideas, that of Paul's and of Joel's, came into contact with each other. I was daydreaming about making a feature when my brain opened up my opinions and clocked these two new ideas. How could I believe that YouTube and internet content as a whole has a distinct language of its own, that YouTube's place is on YouTube and cinema's place is in the cinema, while still believing that it's in my best interest to just post a feature film that I make on YouTube? Wouldn't the ideas that Joel is talking about run into the exact same problems that VGHS did back in the day, but then again, the movie he referenced has done really well. Who's to say what does and doesn't belong on YouTube at this point? I was going back and forth with these two ideas, both implanted within me by two different content creators. Without even realizing it, I had become a walking contradiction. Can both of these ideas coexist? Maybe. I'm open to it, but probably not. But was I going to pick a side on my own anytime soon? Probably not. No, I'd likely wait until I was, yet again with my friends, testing the water to see what everybody else thought, before deciding whether I wanted to fit in or be the contrarian that I'm naturally predisposed to be. Or I'd wait around for some third YouTube video by some third content creator, a video to enlighten me and find the perfect balance between these two ideas, to give me an opinion, a take, so perfectly tailor-made for me that I wouldn't feel stressed at all, conveniently filing it away yet again into the clown show known as my own opinions. But before any of you dismiss that idea, the idea that we don't know what to think until we find out how other people feel, the way 60% of you already have, and before you label me as a weak-minded individual, I would like to say one thing. Isn't that sort of thing constantly happening? Aren't we all generally aware of that? I mean, maybe we aren't conscious to its process throughout the day, but we know that our conclusions aren't formally cemented until they've been tested and vetted by the global village. And the village for our current day is the internet. I mean, why is everybody always talking about echo chambers, right? It's because we know they're real. We don't know what to think, what we should believe is true, false, until we know what everybody else in our circle already thinks. Once I had that realization, it sent me spiraling. I was picking apart every single one of my opinions, trying to find out the root of where it came from. Was I just an amalgamation of internet content, internet takes, and internet opinions? Were none of the things I thought or felt real? Was anything that I said worth anything at all? Then, I watched Punch Drunk Love. Barry Eagan, the protagonist of the movie, feels the exact same way.
Like, I would be a little tense, and I don't think I'd act like myself.
Except, it's for different reasons. He didn't grow up with social media. He grew up with 7 verbally abusive sisters.
He was building a doghouse.
Oh, okay, Rhonda. Happy birthday.
What I love so much about this movie, or I should say, what I love about loving this movie, is that I didn't get it recommended to me on social media, or even by my friends. I stumbled upon it by myself after watching the movie Licorice Pizza, which came out in theaters 4 years ago. It was weird, beautiful, and funny. Everything that I wanted in a movie. And it's what made me obsessed with PTA and his films from that moment on.
Pudding.
Barry is a guy that's always stressed, that doesn't know what to think or how to act with other people. He's always got a million other things running around inside his head. It makes the film instantly relatable, despite it being so unnatural and at sometimes otherworldly. When I so frequently get sucked in the world of social media, into the questions of what I believe, it's comforting to know that this movie is always there to help me ground myself. It always puts me at ease. No matter what emotional state I'm in, this movie reminds me that, despite all the turmoil, life can be beautiful, especially when you find someone important to share it with. When so much of our daily life is spent interacting with different media that falls into the category of content or social media content, it can be hard to latch on to pieces of media that we find valuable, like our opinions, that get shaped by the people we listen to before being discarded by the next talking head. Our consumption of media is being trained to be the exact same way. The video we're watching is only the video we watched before the next one, and so on. That's why it's so important to find those pieces of media, dare I say, works of art that we cherish, that we value, and that we return to. When our media and mediums are constantly shaping us into new people with new opinions, you may one day reach a point where like me, you feel like you're a walking contradiction, living with conflicting beliefs deeply entrenched into your personality. It's in those moments that we need these things in our life that ground us, that remind us and bring us back to a closer understanding of ourselves. Punch Drunk Love is my most watched movie the past 5 years, and I don't think that's gonna change anytime soon. It just makes me feel like myself more than most other movies do. What kinds of things are that way for you? It doesn't have to be a movie, it can be anything. A book, a poem, a song, a YouTube video, it can be anything. All I hope is that you find those things that you can latch on to and return to, that remind you of who you are. And I hope that this video lets you know that you don't have to be shaped by all the images and sounds that you see online, the things that persist with you over the course of your life, the works of art that follow you around, that live inside of you. Those are the things that are worth returning to, that shape the ideas that you find in the opinions folder of your brain. Alright, that's a wrap on this video, Punch Drunk Love / media consumption and how they shape us video. Yeah, this one is shorter. I feel like it might only be 10 minutes long, but that's okay, right? Yeah, I really love Punch Drunk Love. I'm definitely going to make at least 2 or 3 more videos on it, over this next year. To all the new subscribers, thank you so much for watching my last video about Baxter. Bro, I swear I'm this close from getting a bull terrier myself. Nah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, so thank you so much for subscribing, for watching, and if you're seeing this right now, thank you for sticking around to the end. You people are the ones that, I'm making this for. So, yeah, it brings me so much joy to know that people are actually watching and enjoying these videos. It means a lot to me. And, yeah, let me know, what kind of stuff you want to see as well. Obviously, the videos about movies seem to be doing a lot better, which, I can expect, but I don't just want to make videos about movies, and I want to make videos, about more complex ideas and media and books. Like, my favorite video that I've made so far, I think, is my video on Thomas Ligotti and his controversial philosophy. But anyway, I'm just rambling. I would say here are these video stats, but oh wait, here are these video sources. It's just those 2 videos that I mentioned and Punch Drunk Love, and then I wrote the rest. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Catch you guys on the next one. Subscribe!